I Heard It Coming, Friendship, Brotherhood, and Betrayal in the Score of Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor is a 2023 Star Wars video game from Respawn Entertainment, a sequel to their 2019 game, Jedi Fallen Order. These games follow the story of Cal Kestis, one of the last remaining Jedi in the Star Wars galaxy. In his adventures, Cal forms a tight-knit crew of friends. Most important for this presentation, God-for-hire Bode Akuna. In Survivor, Cal and Bode are searching for a map to the lost planet of Tanalorr, a place where they can hide from the Empire and a place where Bode can raise his young daughter in safety. However, when he feels that Cal's willingness to open the planet to other refugees will put his daughter at risk, Bode betrays the team, placing himself as the final antagonist of the game. In their 8.5-hour-long Grammy Award-winning score, composers Stephen Barton and Gordy Hogg make use of many musical themes and motifs used to associate with on-screen characters, locations, and ideas. In this presentation, I will be focusing on Cal and Bode's themes and how they interact in the game. I will demonstrate that the increasing closeness and eventual splintering of their themes serves to support and foreshadow the characters' relationship throughout the game, from friends to brothers and ultimately enemies. Let's start by looking at the themes, starting with Cal's. Listen to the horn line in this example. Cal's theme is in a minor key. However, it still manages to hold a very optimistic, kind of wide-eyed magical feel to it, which fits really well with the young protagonist with magical adjacent abilities. One thing to keep an ear out for is something I like to call the turn figure, which is this little da-da-da-da-dum right there. It's used as a further shorthand for Cal in the score. Next, let's look at Bode's theme. Listen for the horns and trumpets in this cue. Bode's theme is usually in the Dorian mode, which A in this example, which is minor but with a raised fourth degree. This is heard really clearly in the chord progression of his theme, which starts in a minor triad and then moves to a major triad 5 half steps away. This progression is something that media music theorist Scott Murphy associates with wonder. This fits really well with Bode's initial presentation as this sort of sarcastic, fun guy hanging out with the magically powered friends. His theme overall has a very fun and adventurous feel to it. Now, because Bode and Cal first meet in this game, we also hear their themes meet in this game. And at their first presentation, they're over 20 seconds apart in the music. However, at pivotal moments in their friendship, we begin to hear them intertwine a bit. In this clip, we'll watch Bode encouraging Cal to pursue a relationship with Marin, the love interest for this game. Listen for their themes to begin to trade off. Half of Bode's will play, then half of Cal's, then half of Bode's again. Bode's will be in the strings, and Cal in the winds.
Who you really are.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means trust your heart. Things are only getting worse out there. Life is precious. And so is happiness.
I wish it were that simple.
It is that simple. If you see a future with Marin, embrace it.
I don't understand. I can't.
You can really hear the tenderness exhibited in Bode's theme as he connects to Cal in a more deep manner. A little later in the game, Bode and Cal have become even closer. Bode begins calling Cal brother, and the two have even more missions together in the game as well. To match with this, the score finds new ways to bring their themes together. In this example, we'll hear a softer version of Bode's theme played over a rhythmic string section that's built around Cal's turn figure. Listen for Bode. Something I call the hybrid theme, which finds an even greater level of closeness. We take part of Cal's theme and part of Bode's theme and mix them together. So in this example, listen for the line to start as Cal's theme and then end as Bode's theme. Just Just after defeating the advertised antagonist of the game, Cal and Bode get the map they've been searching for. However, just as Cal brings up the idea of letting other refugees into their world, their themes are thrown off balance as the two are thrown off balance. This is the first foreshadowing of what is to come. We'll hear them start to trade off again, but now they're kind of interrupting each other as well. This one's really hard to hear, so I have it transcribed here, Cal on top, Bode on the bottom.
Taylor's a fortress. We should use it for the hidden path. Gather allies, train. You'd never see us coming.
I don't know, that seems risky.
Everything is at risk so long as the Empire's around. Besides, you don't want cause us spending our whole life in hiding, do you?
Just after this, before Bode's betrayal, Bode and Cal have one final conversation together as friends. It's clear Bode doesn't necessarily want to betray Cal, as he gives Cal another out in this conversation, and for that reason their themes aren't fully separated yet. We're still hearing that trading off with a bit of interruption. This will be a little bit more clear. Also listen for the chord that this ends on.
Cal's is gonna be good as new.
Something's bothering you.
Ah, you know me too well, Scrapper. Just thinking about Kata. And people looking after her, but it's always a bit tough when I come back.
That chord at the end is really indicative of the state of their friendship at this point. Of course, what follows is Bode's betrayal. And after his betrayal, their themes are fully separated again. What's more, they've managed to twist each other with their anger, turning the themes far darker than before. You can hear this especially in Cal's turn figure and the higher notes in Bode's theme. To note that for the first time in the entire score, their themes are played in different keys, which further emphasizes their opposing viewpoints and the conflict. You even hear Cal's turn figure coming in an extra time just to cut off Bode's theme at the end of it. Now we've made it to the final confrontation. Here their themes are even darker than before. Listen to them directly conflicting in the score. Fragments of the theme, which mirrors their conflict in the game, where the two have really lost sight of who they are in their conflict with each other. And similarly, they've lost themselves in the music as well. So why does any of this really matter? Music and media, which be it film, TV, video games, or whatever, has not always been treated as worthy of analysis by most academia, and that's just wrong. Music has deep and powerful meaning to it and is absolutely worth being studied. Furthermore, this music is connected to storytelling, which is a core aspect of what it is to be human. As I've demonstrated in my presentation, so much storytelling can be done just through the music itself. Of course, this is nothing new. I mentioned Wagner earlier, and he was doing the same thing in his operas. But when it comes to an educational perspective, this is so much better. I mean, students these days, they don't really know Wagner, and frankly, they don't really care about Wagner. But everyone knows Star Wars. As an educator, we should always be finding the best ways to reach our students, and teaching music and storytelling is always a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. Questions are of course welcome, and here are my citations.
I have a question. So, are there ways, you talked about some ways that this music is similar to concert music, but in general for video game music, how is it different from concert music?
There's two types of music in this game, especially as a story game. There are cutscenes, which is where I've primarily taken a lot of this from, because that's the more story-based side of things, and then there are also cues that are just triggered by where you are when you're exploring or fighting. And that last little bit was from the boss fight So it is during the combat and not necessarily tied to things happening on screen. You notice a couple of the videos were also from cutscenes because there's 8.5 hours of music and on the commercial soundtrack is only 4 hours long, so not all of it made it in. But does that answer?
Yeah, basically.
All right, thank you very much.